wanted to do a video on breaking the cycle of poverty. And so a few points I wanted to bring up. Everyone grows up in different family situations, and that's all right. If you feel that some of the things that I suggest are too late for you, then my recommendation is that you try to implement them with your kids. Try to pass this knowledge down to them and help them better their own lives. I think everyone wants what's best for their kids. I think that that's what the American dream is all about, is rising higher in society than your parents were able to. And so help your kids if you feel like you're in a point where it's hard to implement these things. I think you can still implement these things and have a better life, and you might be more likely to have like an okay retirement, but really pass it on to your kids if you're older than you feel these things can really be implemented with. And so the first of my suggestions is don't have kids until you're established. So what I mean by that is don't have any kids when you're 18, 19, even early 20s. I would recommend getting as much school done as possible before you have any kids. Once you start having kids, it's a lot more difficult to focus and do well in school. You have to worry about taking care of them. You have to work more to provide for them. When you're in school, you want to be able to devote as much time as possible to your homework, to really studying the concepts, to making sure that you understand what's going on, to getting good grades. If you do that, you're going to be more likely to graduate. A lot of people that struggle in school are trying to juggle working 30, 40-hour weeks while they're doing it. I'm convinced that it's going to be very difficult to do well in college if you're trying to juggle huge work weeks to get by as you're doing it. Okay, the second point that I have with this, it's kind of related to the first, but it's focused studying instead of entertainment. And so with that, the idea is that you want to invest in yourself. You want to do the things that are going to benefit you long-term, benefit you in the future. And so if you're an adult right now that's working a lot, I recommend that you don't spend time watching TV. If you're able to go back to college and get a degree when you don't have one, that's a great thing to do. If you don't feel like you can go back to school at this point, I would recommend reading everything that you can on wealth management. A book that I really like, that I've been reading lately, it's called Millionaire Next Door. The main idea behind this book is that there's a lot of people that are able to gain wealth long term simply by being wise with their money, not spending a lot of money, not focusing on entertainment and luxury items and vacations. Instead, they focus on putting their money into assets, which brings me to my third point. Don't buy liabilities. You want to buy assets. And so a liability is something that isn't going to earn you any money. It's something that, if anything, it costs money to maintain over time. So a good example of a liability would be a brand new motorcycle. You're not going to earn money doing that or having that, or a brand new boat. You're not going to be able to earn money by having that boat. The thousands of dollars that you might have spent on those items, instead you could put into reliable stocks with good companies that have been performing well over the course of the last 5 to 10 years. Or you could put that money into books. You could put that money into a small business if you have a small business. You could put it into your home. You could pay more for your mortgage payments and try to pay your house off as quick as possible, or get an investment property. Liabilities don't earn you money in the long term when assets will. And so for me, I'll be honest, I can't say that I'm wealthy right now. I'm 24 years old. I just graduated. I'm going to be a teacher next year, teaching geography. But I try to read a lot. I just barely got my real estate license. Here's the book that I've been studying for a long time. I'm gonna be able to be a realtor on the side during summers, and I'm also looking to get rental properties long term. I'm planning on getting into a home or a condo in the next 5 to 6 months. I've been saving a long time for this, and I'm going to be able to rent a few rooms out, and then eventually I'm going to get another investment property and continue to do that. I'm going to follow the principles in this book, and I'm convinced that that's going to work well for me. I'm going to try to get a master's degree in a few years in education administration. I'm going to try to become a principal, and so I'm convinced that I'm going to be able to give myself a good upper middle class life in the future. And to be honest, my dad didn't go to college, but I mean, he still encouraged us to work hard and to study hard, and he encouraged us to be smart with our money, and I'm really thankful for that. And so I would recommend that you apply these principles in your life if you feel that you're in poverty right now. If not, teach your kid. If you feel like you're too old for it, try to teach these things to your kids. Again, remember things that we went over, talked about not having kids until you're established. So if you had kids at a young age, teach your kids, do not have any children until your late 20s, 30 years old. Have a bachelor's degree at least, are established in a job. Don't bring kids into this world before you're really ready to provide for them. The other thing that we talked about was focusing on studying and investing instead of entertainment. So if you're old, then you have a lot of kids, don't let them sit around and play video games for hours at a time. During the summers, make them read. During the school year, make sure that they're doing their homework, make sure that they're reading. Don't let them just watch TV and play video games. That doesn't benefit them in any way, shape, or form. If anything, it hurts them because they become soft. They're not used to focusing. If you let them just sit around and watch YouTube videos for hours, that's not going to help them. The other thing we talked about, the third thing, was getting liabilities. You don't want to get liabilities, you want to get assets. So personally, don't spend your money on new TVs. Don't spend your money on motorcycles or boats. Put your money into your home. Don't rent. First off, you want to be in a home building equity, but put as much money as you can into mortgage payments. Try to get an investment property if possible. Do anything you can to build up assets instead of liabilities. That is what wealthy people do. They get as many assets as they possibly can. Hope that this video was helpful. If you enjoyed it, give us a like. If you have any tips for me, feel free to leave them in the comments section. Hope that someone gets something out of it.